relates to societal issues such as economic and educational injustice. If Dr. King were here today, he would be challenging each and every one of us, parent to teacher, student to politician, minister to congregation, to be their very best. Teamwork makes the dream work. Coming together is just the beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together, however, is success. In current discussions on race relations, the word love is rarely mentioned. Dr. King insisted, however, that love was the dominant or critical value by which we can overcome racial strife. This love he spoke of was unrestricted, unselfish, and sought the absolute good of those with a different view. It was a tough love that confronts wrong and injustice with the truth. In Dr. King's profound book, Strength to Love, he explains, at times we may feel that we do not need God, but on the day when storms of disappointment rage, when the winds of disaster blow, and the tidal waves of grief beat against our lives, if we do not have a deep and patient faith, our emotional lives will be ripped to shreds. There is so much frustration in the world because we have relied on gods rather than God. There's so much frustration in the world today because we have relied on gods rather than God. We have genuflected before the God of science only to find that it has given us the atomic bomb, producing fears and anxieties in which science can never mitigate. We have worshipped the God of pleasure, only to find that thrills play out and sensations are short-lived. We have bowed before the God of money, only to learn that there are such things as love and friendship that money cannot buy. And in a world of possible depressions, stock market crashes and bad business investments, money is a rather uncertain deity. These transitory gods are not able to save us or bring happiness to the human heart. Only God is able. It is faith in Him that we must rediscover. With this faith, we can transform bleak and desolate valleys into sunlit paths of joy and bring new light into the dark caverns of pessimism. Teamwork makes the dream work. Although parenting is a challenging task, it is an awesome position that God places us as human beings in. God has given parents such a responsibility to be the main examples and teachers of His Word. This is non-negotiable. If you are a parent, you are automatically in the position to train your child to know God or not, which in either case, you are teaching something. Proverbs 22nd chapter 6 verse says, train up a child in the way she or he should go, for when they are old, they should not depart from it. Amen. This is a responsibility that there is no room, absolutely no room for failure. Many parents are abdicating their God-given responsibility and leading their children down a path of destruction. Whether we like it or not, we are an example, either exemplifying Christ or exemplifying evil. As a father, you are charged with the responsibilities of being available to your child and providing the necessary resources for their growth. Spending quality time with their child and staying involved in all phases of their life is a quintessential element of fatherhood. Please understand, fathers, that providing only represents a part. It only represents a part of the responsibility. children yearn for their parents' attention and unconditional love. Child support can never measure up to the value of hands-on nurturing. When placed on the scale of foundation, tender love and care takes precedence over legal tender during any season of the year. Now is the time to grab the hands of our children and stimulate their minds. Remind them that they can be whatever they desire to be in life, regardless of their pigmentation or racial ethnicity. We must work with the purpose to broaden our youth's perspectives on this world and the positive opportunities within it. As mothers, you are and always have been the foundation. Mothers give and give and give of themselves, only asking that their seed will grow to be a public intellectual with moral principles. In hopes that they will become productive citizens of society. Mothers, please continue to do the wonderful job that you do. Our communities desperately need and depend on you. Now, I'm not naive enough to believe that every child has had the type of childhood that I was fortunate enough to have. Not every child grows up with two parents in the household. In fact, the dynamics and very definition of family as we know it today has undergone a transformation. The fact of the matter is that many children and teenagers are living in conditions at which we could never fathom. Now more than ever before, children are growing up in households haunted by domestic violence and drug addiction. In order for us to raise God-fearing children, we must first be God-fearing ourselves. It is time that America started investing more into our children and their capabilities. Our main concern here should be building upon the potential of our youth. There has been a call to action today. No matter our color, creed, sex, or what religious beliefs we may possess, we must all work together. What steps will you take in incorporating teamwork with the people God has placed in and around your life today? The educational system of this, the wealthiest country in the world, is largely broken. Many young African Americans and Latino students find themselves at a severe disadvantage in obtaining success. It is known that the K-12 educational system is failing our children. These facts are highlighted not merely to be critical, but to draw attention to the work that is yet to be done. What I have discovered is that children are naturally inquisitive, clever, and creative, no matter what color they are. These are the qualities in which America must recognize and develop for the sake of our livelihood. In our classrooms today are the next innovators, astronauts, doctors, scientists, and prolific writers. If we let our children know the power of their potential and the power of their capabilities and what they can be, they'll be more encouraged and inclined to achieve. With this support and approach, no goal will be seen as far-fetched or unattainable. The question will change from, are you going to college, to what college are you going to? Correction does much, but to encourage does more. Before we criticize and ostracize our youth, we we must first take a look at our priorities as a nation and as a people. So, what is our focus? Have we forgotten that the foundation and fuel of American innovation and achievement is a quality education? That quality education leads to opportunity, which leads to earning potential, creating healthier communities, and by virtue, a stronger nation? How can we expect greatness when we don't provide the bare necessities for a proper education? It should come as no surprise that a great amount of the inequality present today in our educational system falls along racial lines. The issue at the heart of all these problems is the idea that freedom and economic opportunity are interchangeable. That freedom is economic opportunity. But my brothers and sisters, let us not get it twisted today. Freedom without economic opportunity is just a modified version of oppression and servitude. Young people, young adults, as I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself as well. We must regain our focus and sense of purpose. As young adults in our communities, we must step up into leadership roles and step out of complacency, mediocrity, and degradation. We cannot remain sleeping giants for long, for there is far too much work to be done that requires our minds and collective efforts. Through the many advancements of technology and social networking, we must not forget the power of face-to-face communication and dialogue. We must realize that technology is a privilege to have, but interaction with other people is crucial. It's crucial. Our progression as a generation is heavily dependent upon our ability to communicate globally. Emotional invisibility on the World Wide Web has virtually led us to become desensitized to society and the real issues that we face. Let's not allow technology to lull us to sleep or lead us into a greater state of oblivion. We must take advantage of the opportunities that we do have. There can be an open door leading to our success, but if we take no action, if we don't get up and walk through that door of opportunity, that's all that will remain is, merely an opportunity. So, if you have anyone in your life that is giving you a helping hand or trying to assist you in achieving your goals, I would encourage you to stay the course, remain humble, work hard, and thank God. Amen. I am reminded of a young lady named Malala of Pakistan who was sought out and shot by the Taliban in the head ultimately for her desire to gain an education. Surviving the attack on her life, Malala is now recognized globally for her activism and courage in the face of extremism. Palm Beach County, when Malala fell, all of Pakistan took a stand and stood in the gap for this young lady in her fight for life and education. We must do the same for our very own children here in West Palm Beach and throughout the United States of America. Did you know that this nation's great seal carried by the American bald eagle reads, "E pluribus